Switch off the lights and embrace the dark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Terror Hour. I'm your host, Rakeem J.H. Lawrence, and today I want to discuss one of my favorite all-time horror movies, Phantasm. Phantasm came out in 1979, directed by Don Coscarelli. I have to tell you, the first time I saw it, I was a little kid in the South Bronx laying across my grandmother's bed, and that scared the mess out of me. It scared the mess out of me. And that's the movie that made me want to make movies. But let's get into Phantasm. Phantasm's about this mysterious figure named the Tall Man who comes from some different world, and he comes to the small Oregon town of Morningside as a mortician. But really, he was more than a mortician. He was something that was just like pure evil. So there's these two orphan brothers. One is older, one is younger. One was Mike, portrayed by A. Michael Baldwin, and one was Jody, portrayed by Bill Thornberry. And then they had a friend named Reggie. He was an ice cream vendor. He was portrayed by Reggie Bannister. So all three of them was so tight-knit, they discussed everything that was going on in the town. So they had a friend named Tommy that died. So they didn't let little Mike come to the funeral. They discussed that in the dialogue. It was just Reggie and Jody at the funeral. So they talking about Tommy, how they was a hell of a trio and all of that. So Tommy died. They showed the funeral. Now the next scene, they showed young Mike in some kind of bushes. So he seen the tall man lifting the casket up out the ground by himself. Now me, myself, that scared the shit out of me because I've been to enough funerals to know that it took 6 people to lift the casket. So basically Mike was scared to death. He was trying to leave on his motorcycle and the little dwarf tripped him up or whatever. He goes to this fortune teller and she tells him like basically it's all in his mind or whatever. He tried to tell his brother Jody, but Jody didn't believe him and stuff like that. Jody didn't believe him. So he brought back the tall man's finger, which he chopped off in the door, and it turned into some kind of wasp or whatever. The movie is action-packed. It got like explosions in there, a lot of chase scenes, a lot of jump scares and stuff like that. But let's discuss these characters. Now, we had the beautiful Kathy Lester in there. She was basically the tall man. He turned into her. That's how Tommy died at the beginning. She stabbed Tommy. They was getting it on in the cemetery. And that's how Tommy died. Now, Jody was like a playboy. He went to the town bar and picked her up too. The only reason why he didn't die because his brother saved him, went screaming through the cemetery. But it had some funny moments in there. He had Kathy Lester's panties in his mouth. And he was like, oh, that's my little brother or whatever. So it had some funny moments in there. But the movie was scary as hell. But it's one of my favorites. I think it was well directed. The soundtrack was good. The characters was believable. Some parts made me be like, oh, this is a little slow. They could have like trimmed a lot of it, but the main characters was these flying spears. They almost caught Mike, but he was smart enough to duck. But these spears, right, they'll hit you in the head and suck your blood or whatever. So I think it caught one of the grave diggers and killed one of the grave diggers. I have a couple of those spears and I got them signed at Scaricon. I bought it from Nightmares Unlimited, and then I got the cast to sign it. I have a lot of Phantasm memorabilia. I'll show y'all one day. But let's discuss the physical media of Phantasm. This was the first piece of physical media I got from Phantasm. This was the VHS. See, back then in the 70s, the artwork was drawn. We didn't have all this, digital computer stuff. It was drawn. So I actually purchased this. Back then, VHS was expensive, like $100 and stuff like that. But I also, before I bought this, I rented this from the mom and pop shop. I rented this a lot. We had the mom and pop video shop. See, back then, all your friends would talk about the movies in school. And the way we know what we wanted to rent, the artwork. It was artwork and word of mouth. So I would go to school and just constantly talk about this movie. And people just looked at me like I was crazy, like, what the hell is a Phantasm? I said, won't y'all check it out? And then I got a bunch of people hooked on it. This was the other VHS they came out with. This is an MGM one, but I think this came out later on, like in the 90s, I think. But I'm a physical media collector. I also got this laser disc. This is one of the first laser discs I got. This one doesn't have no extra features or nothing. It's just a plain one, but I do have a special edition laser disc. I have this one. It's like a set. It comes with a booklet and everything in a CD. This is signed by the director in the store, Don Coscarelli and Angus Grimm. This is worth a lot of money right now, but I would never sell it. I keep all my stuff. And this stuff has a lot of extras. It has some interviews with Don Coscarelli and Angus Grimm, a couple of commercials from Fangoria, trailers, television spots, stuff like that. And it has like a gold CD in there. So then they had some Blu-rays that came out later. I don't really watch them though. I like to watch the older versions in my movie theater because I like the old grainy look. I don't like this clear stuff. It takes away from the old scary horror movies to me. But it spawned several sequels and it gained worldwide fans. Now, let's talk about this Red Planet. The way they introduced the Red Planet was one of those flying spears. It was a key. So Reggie put it like in some kind of doorknob and it opened up this white room. It was like an all white room. And it had all the dead people that the tall man used to shrink down into these dwarfs and put them in barrels to ship to his Red Planet to be slaves. So Mike almost won in there a couple of times. Mike almost won in there, but Reggie got him out of there. But some stuff I didn't understand. I'm still trying to rewatch it because a few parts didn't make sense. Like Reggie getting stabbed. He got stabbed and he lived, and they didn't even talk about that. And then they flipped it around. At the end, Jody was dead. So Mike and Reggie was sitting by a fireplace. Reggie was playing. He was saying, yeah, your brother Jody died in a car accident. And he went upstairs. He said, go upstairs and get your gear. So when Mike goes upstairs, I think he opens a closet door or something. The tall man's on the mirror and snatches him in. That's how the movie ends. But they never showed the car accident with Jody. They never showed the car accident. But the way his parents died was you knew Mike was an orphan because they never showed the parents. They just showed the brother. They just showed like the brother taking care of him, Jody. But it had a lot of scary parts. Like there was a part where they opened the door and the tall man was standing there with his hands behind his back like, I've been waiting for you. And he had the most scariest voice. I had the pleasure of meeting Angus Grimm, and he was like the nicest man. May he rest in peace, but Phantasm's my favorite. I have a few other favorites, but it's definitely the one. I need you guys to tell me, what do you think of the Phantasm movie and your favorite parts, your favorite characters? When's the first time you saw it? You can leave that in the comments and let me know and how you perceived the movie and what you took out of the movie. I like the stunts. They had a lot of stunts in there, like car crashes. I remember Jody sent Mike to go stay with some girls, Sally and some other girls, and they had like this antique shop. So Mike was looking through the antique shop and seen the tall man on his chariot horse in some old like picture, and they zoomed in, had the nice crazy scary music. So he told Sally to take him home. So on the way taking him home, the dwarfs kidnapped him and snatched him out the car and stuff like that, and Mike was unconscious. Also, another scene that I enjoyed was the ice cream truck was turned over and they had like the yellow embalming fluid that was in there. And during one of the car crash scenes, one of the dwarfs was chasing them, but the car crashed, the hearse crashed. And when they went to look in the hearse, it was the dead friend Tommy. It showed like a clip of him in a casket in the funeral, and he had on like the red dwarf hood. So they was talking, that's when they was like trying to explain how they shrink them down to size. But overall, it was a great movie. And that inspired me to make small town movies, you know? Those are the scariest to me. But they explain in the later sequels where he came from. They don't explain in this one. They just basically introducing a character. And I noticed they cut out a lot of parts. Because part 4 was basically made out of deleted scene from 1. Like they had one when he was first coming to the town and some dog was in the road. It was like a farm road or whatever, and he ran over and killed the dog. So I guess that was trying to let us know how evil he was. That was just to let us know how evil he was. But I think it was pretty good. Especially the fortune teller scene. It was like some old lady, some girl he knew, the grandma. And she told Mike to put his hand in the box, and she was just trying to tell him about like fear, take him into his mind into another thinking not to fear anything. And then later on, the girl or the grandmother, she wound up going to Morningside Cemetery, and they didn't show her die or nothing, but you would assume she died because she just started screaming and stuff like that. But if you looking for like a gore fest, Phantasm isn't for you. It's more like story. I think the goriest parts is when Mike cut the tall man's hand off that got stuck in the door, cut off his fingers, and the yellow embalming fluid came out. I think that's the goriest part. And what else is pretty gory? Oh, when the spear hit the gravedigger in the head. Them things is like vampire balls, blood suckers. They'll hit you in the head and like just drain all your blood out. And it showed the gravedigger on the floor kicking and screaming and stuff like that. But overall, great horror movie. Well put together. Like I said, some things I just didn't understand, but nothing's perfect, you know? But like I said, I would like to know you guys' experiences when the first time you saw Phantasm. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And I definitely want to know who your favorite character was. Most people's favorite character was Jody, but I like A. Michael Baldwin. He did a great job, you know? But thanks for tuning in to the Terror Hour. Please like and subscribe. Please share the video. And I'll see you at episode 2.
Switch off the lights and embrace the dark.